everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I like to talk about books, and today I'm going to be doing my June TBR where I talk about all the books I'm planning to read in June. So as you know, June is Pride Month, so I will be prioritizing LGBTQIA plus books and authors this month. Also, I know this is a little late, but as you can see, I've moved. I talked about this in my wrap-up video too, but I'm just a little bit behind on everything. But I still wanted to film a TBR because I have a lot of great reads on my radar this month that I wanted to chat about. I also probably won't read as much this month since I'm just so busy and coming off the move, and it's already June 8th. But I'm gonna do my best. I've got a long list to get through, and I just, if I can get through like 4 books, I'd call that a huge win this month, honestly. So the first book I'm planning on reading and that I have already started reading is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is one of my most highly anticipated books of the year. I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue like everybody else, and so I've been super excited for this one. I'm just about 50 pages in right now, and so far, so good. I also do have an audiobook version of this available that Libro FM provided me through the ALC programs, so I will be listening to that as well to give the audiobook a try, so I'll be able to do physical copy and audiobook. As always, if you're interested in Libro FM, I have links down below. But anyways, this is a sapphic romance about these 2 girls, August and Jane. August has recently moved to New York City. She is definitely lost in life. This one is August. And then she starts meeting this girl, Jane, on the subway and is very enamored by her, very intrigued by her. But it turns out that Jane is actually displaced from the 1970s. She somehow has gotten lost through time. I haven't gotten to that part yet, so I don't know how it happens. But that obviously causes some complications, and I am excited to see how it goes. I already really love these characters. I'm already really enjoying this story, and I'm just getting started, so I can only imagine it's going to be so great. I've heard so many great things about this. This book is selling out of bookstores everywhere, so I'm so excited to read this. That's why it's my first read of the month. I love a book about time travel. I love a sapphic romance, like perfect formula. Could not be any better. And now I'm sweating, so gonna put my hair up. I mentioned this in my wrap-up too if you watch that, but I don't have air conditioning in this place, and it is summer. It's an old building, so there's no air conditioning, so I'm gonna be sweating for like the next 3 months in videos. Hope you can just bear with me. Okay, the next book I'm going to be reading is chonky. It's a big book. It's an intimidating book. It is a book that is not really up my alley, but I've wanted to read it, and it's time to give it a go. And that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So if you don't know how big this book is, just give it a look. Let's compare it to this paperback. It's a big boy. It's a big chonky book. And it's a fantasy book, and it's about dragons. So it doesn't really sound up my alley, but I've been intrigued by it. So many people talk about this book. So many people love this book. I am pretty sure there's a sapphic romance element, so I'm interested, and that's honestly all I know about it. I will be reading this book with my friend Hannah from Hannah's Recent Reads. I'll link her channel above and below so you can go check her out if you haven't yet already, but I'm so excited to read this with her. We were both just so intimidated by this book, but we both wanted to read it, so we just decided to jump in this month and give it a go. So at least I'm gonna have some moral support to get through this really thick book that is, oh, it's only 800 pages-ish. It's 800 and something. I thought it was over 1,000. That seems much more manageable. I'm not that scared now. But I have no idea what this is about, so let me read you the description. The House of Berethnet has ruled Inyas for 1,000 years. Still unwed, Queen Sabran the Ninth must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction. Sorry if the angle changed. It's so hot that my camera turned off. But assassins are getting closer to her door. Iyad Durian, I have no idea how to say these names, I'm so sorry, is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Iyad keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tanae has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. So this is like a very high fantasy. There's different lands and kingdoms, Game of Thrones style, there's dragons. Doesn't sound like something I'd enjoy, but I've only heard amazing things, even from people who don't love fantasy. So I feel like I have to like it, right? I don't know. I can do it. It's just 800 pages. And then the other books I'm planning on reading are the other books that I gave as my choice in the vlog I did where I let you choose my reads for a video that I did last month. And these are the 4 that did did not get voted on the most, but it's okay because I was going to read them all this month anyway. So the first one is Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. I think this is gonna be horror-ish. I don't really know, but I have read another book from Rivers Solomon, and that was The Deep. It was about mermaids and it was very good. So I was definitely intrigued in reading more books from them. And this one is said to be about a person named Vern, 7 months pregnant and desperate to escape the strict religious compound where she was raised. She flees for the shelter of the woods. There she gives birth to twins and plans to raise them far from the influence of the outside world. But even in the forest, Vern is a hunted woman. Forced to fight back against the community that refuses to let her go, she unleashes incredible brutality far beyond what a person should be capable of, her body racked by inexplicable and uncanny changes. To understand her metamorphosis and to protect her small family, Vern has to face the past, and more troublingly, the future, outside the woods. Finding the truth will mean uncovering not only the secrets of the compound she fled, but also the violent history of America that produced it. So this is said to be a genre-bending work of gothic fiction, which is kind of what I expected, with just like a blend of different genres, like some horror, some fantasy, some mystery, some suspense, but also bringing in those ties to real-life horrors of America, which is what River Solomon did so well in The Deep and what intrigues me so much in their writing. So I'm so excited for this one. Also, the dark, creepy woods vibes, I am here for it. I love that. Also, twins, like so many good tropes in this book that I like. I feel like, how could I not love it? I also love this cover. I just think it's so cool. It's kind of like fungi, and there's definitely some sort of metamorphosis going on with our main character Vern, so interested to see what that's all about. But I haven't heard anyone talk about this book yet, so I have no bias. I just get to enjoy it by myself, which is really nice sometimes, and so I'm very excited to be able to read this very soon. Next up, I have a book from Illumicrate, and that is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. First of all, I just adore this cover. There's just so much complexity in the way the colors ombre, which is hard to capture on camera, but it's so beautiful and it goes all the way around. And then there's also artwork in here from Illumicrate, and then these really pretty end papers. I just think this book was so well done in general, so I'm super excited to read it. The tagline on the back is, "She loves a princess, she's bound to a warrior, she must betray them both." So it has something to do with a pansexual main character. It is based in the city of Thanapolis, where magic is rare and closely controlled. Those blessed or cursed with power are put under constant guard, assigned to undead spirits who watch their every move. Ever since her father died to save her from this fate, Rovan has kept her magic a closely guarded secret until an accident exposes her powers for the world to see, and her tenuous freedom comes crashing to an end. Brought to the royal palace against her will and thrust into a maelstrom of intrigue and deception, Rovan is drawn to two people she cannot fully trust. Lydia, a beguiling and rebellious princess struggling against her own destiny, and Ivrilos, the handsome, powerful spirit she has been bound to, who can control Rovan, body and soul. Together they uncover a terrible secret that could destroy everyone in Thanapolis, the living and the dead. To save them, Rovan will have to start a rebellion in both the mortal world and the underworld, and find a way to trust the princess and the undead spirit vying for her heart if she doesn't betray them first. So that sounds so good. There's like a power struggle. There's two love interests. There's a princess. There's one that's controlling her body somehow. I just can't wait. I think this sounds so good. I forgot to show you the edges too. So pretty. Again, this is another one I haven't really heard many people talk about, so I'm excited to just give it a shot myself and see how it goes. I've just been in more of a fantasy mood lately, and this sounds like exactly what I'm looking for, with some romance, some darker elements. It just sounds like it's going to be a fun time. Next up, I have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, and this is a sapphic romance about a woman who completes, I believe, her PhD program. Yes, a PhD program in astronomy. And so she goes on a girls' trip to Vegas to celebrate, and then she gets drunk and marries a woman accidentally. But she has always been pretty much a Virgo, I think, just really plans her life out. So this was very unexpected for her to have this spontaneous moment, and then it kind of sends her into a spiral, staggering under the weight of her parents' expectations, a struggling job market, and feelings of burnout. Grace flees her home in Portland for a summer in New York with a wife she barely knows. In New York, she's able to ignore all the constant questions about her future and falls hard for her creative and gorgeous wife, Yuki Yamamoto. But when reality comes crashing in, Grace must face what she's been running from all along, the fears that make us human and the need for connection, especially when navigating the messiness of adulthood. And if that just doesn't sound so relatable, I don't know what does. I've heard incredible things about this book. I think it sounds incredible. I've heard it is deeper and a little sad, less of a feel-good romance and more of an intense one. And I just feel like in this like pandemic moment, in this like mid-20s moment, this is exactly the book that you need to just be relatable, to just feel like there are other people going through the same struggles as you. Maybe you're not marrying a wife spontaneously in Vegas, but just being lost in life in general is something we can all relate to. So I think this is going to be really great. I'm super excited for this one. And then the last book I would really like to get to this month is You Must Not Miss by Katrina Leno. I have read a couple other books by Katrina Leno. So I've read Summer of Salt and Horrid, and I loved them both. I just really adore Katrina Leno's writing style. I love her tone. I love her characters. Everything about Katrina Leno's books I just find to be a good time. And so I've wanted to read this for a long time. My friend Hannah actually sent me this one, so thank you so much, Hannah. I'm so excited to get to read it this month. But to be honest, I don't really know fully what this book's about. I just knew I wanted to read it because Katrina Leno wrote it, and I've heard it's incredibly weird, and I love weird books. So reading the back, it says, Magpie Lewis started writing in her yellow notebook the day after her father ruined her mother's life, the day after her sister skipped town and left Magpie to fend for herself, the day after Brandon Phipps' party. Now Magpie is called a slut in the hallways of her high school. Her former best friend won't speak to her, and she spends her lunch period with a group of misfits who have also been socially exiled. And so, feeling trapped and forgotten, Magpie retreats to her notebook, dreaming up a magical place called Near. Near is perfect, a place where her father never cheated, her mother never drank, and Magpie's life never derailed. She imagines Near so completely, so fully, that she writes it into existence right in her own backyard. At first, Near is a peaceful escape, but it soon becomes something darker. Somewhere nightmares lurk and hidden truths come to light. Soon it becomes a place where Magpie can do anything she wants, even get her revenge. So this has magical elements, it's a revenge story, it's gonna be weird, it just sounds like a good time to me. I just love this like weird magical quality about Katrina Leno's writing and the way the tone carries throughout the whole book, where it just feels magical in a way. It's very hard to describe, but it is a very unique writing quality that she has, and I really, really love it. So I'm very excited to read this book. So that is it for all the books that I think I'm going to get to this month, if I even get to all of these books. Like I said, it's a busy month. We're already partially into it, and I have not read much. We have multiple people coming to visit us just to see the area with us since we just moved to a new city, so I'm going to be busy with family members visiting us. It's just going to be a busy month, but I really want to get to these books, and so I'm going to do my best to prioritize them. Let me know if any of these books are also on your list, unless you're Hannah and The Prior of the Orange Tree is also on your list. I already know, girl. I already know. But if any of these other books are on your list, let me know. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you love them, if you're excited for me to read any of them, what you really want to see me talk about and maybe vlog. I'm definitely going to be doing a vlog for The Priory of the Orange Tree, so you can expect to see that up. But yeah, I'm just excited for hopefully a good month of reading. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!